What's bad, YouTube? And welcome to Konami trying to silently kill Time Wizard 2.0 Electric Boogaloo. Here Nimnim saying, yeah, I'm not playing Konami events anymore, and I very much agree. I'll be going when I'm traveling again to RBETs, GOAT tournaments, and PPGs in the area, but I definitely will not be going to Konami events if this is the future of them. I planned to play Time Wizard, not Time Travel, and go for giant cards and side events, and I'm not going to have time travel shoved down my throat. Here we see that store docs for tier 2 locals, these are the ones able to host regionals, were basically being told they're phasing out Time Wizard over time, that it's not mentioned in the docs, and these docs are not public. They're not like what we actually get from updated FAQs. We'll wait for Konami to do that, I suppose, and see the future of that publicly. But yeah, don't know if you've seen this. They're killing Time Wizard again even after the Nationals backlash. My regional coming up isn't hosting side events because we got threatened that the store hosting the regionals would lose OTS status if we ran Time Wizard. That's not a tier 2 event. It's at a tier 2 event, but that's a side event. That's not the regional itself, and that's sick to see that they can't pick and choose when before we did see even at the local level they should be offered, which would mean supported in my mind, but I guess they're just taking it completely out of the docs at this point according to what's going on. I have not seen these docs for myself. This is not me giving information directly from them, and that is a bannable offense. That would be private information, I suppose, but this is what's coming directly from stores publicly through the docs and how they're trying to talk about it. Now, I do think that with this, it's absolutely disgusting. It's Konami's head up its own ass, and I will be selling pieces of my own personal collection and whittling it down to 2 binders. I'm not going to sell my OCG stuff. I'm not going to sell my anime stuff, my statues, my banners. I really love Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is one of the reasons I'm still on this earth. But with this, I don't feel a reason to be keeping a lot of my past format stuff outside of lowest rarity and having access to the decks, and I can go back for it if there's some change or at some point. And I have like max rarity like LOB and GOAT OCG versions of the decks. I enjoy those, and that's what I can play with friends and around. But for having these super flashy cards, not as much for me anymore. I'll keep some of my misprint collection, but stuff like this that was specifically for past format, I'll probably end up letting go. I want to be fully transparent because I do host Market Watch, and buying, selling, trading cards doesn't mix. This will only be me selling, not buying, and it will be extremely public what I have and what's out there so that you know correlations between the video and those cards. They don't mix, and that I am going to again be probably charging stuff full price-ish on like my favorite stuff, like these misprints. These will be full nosebleed price, but other stuff that I'll talk about in Market Watch, I will make sure is discounted, does not interfere with the market, and continues by what I have done since ABC format, trying not to have that direct connection into the market that can tempt me and alter my content and that kind of stuff. And I'll give you a direct example here in just a couple minutes. Duelist Advance falling off even further. This is Shadow Spectre level boxes during its metagame, $38 freaking dollars. I know Shadow Spectres fell down really hard throughout time, but the fact that we're here and Alliance Insight is even cheaper is disgusting. The market price is now 38 some odd, and there's a couple $38 boxes left, and they're mostly 41. But yeah, I can't imagine that it helped Sealed Online that we had QCR sets that were mappable, where people could go in and find the quarter century secret rare boxes and then sell the rest of them. Let me know if there's been examples of that with Starlights, but I haven't heard about that with this set. But maybe people don't care enough with it and they're just trying to fire sell it. Who knows what could be going on there. And within there, the Starlights are up in price, but I will say, like many sets that perform poorly, it's going to be easier to make cards disappear and make buyouts stick their landings. These cards will populate less because less of the set, even though it's a core set and you're still going to have tons of injections of these cards in from regionals and from the WCQ and stuff like that, it's still going to be easier to make these kinds of cards disappear when there is an actual demand for them. But look at Gaga Girl almost falling off the front freaking page. Wow. Rescue Ace Impulse here is spiking up in price because it is actually played with verses and used within it. How interesting. And you can see here, it's towards $2 to $3, but from a quarter, that's a very impressive spike. But what's insane, and what I actually want to dig through tonight and probably sell at half price about, is number C104, 65 freaking dollars on unlims supers. This is insane to me, and when I find them today, I'll probably be selling them in the Discord at like 35 shipped, whatever I find. I don't know how many I have. Pretty sure I have a good amount in there and didn't sell them whenever there were the first spikes, so I'll be looking through and very publicly again in the Discord, whatever I find. $35 on the supers, and the ultimate rare is absolutely ridiculous too. Hopefully this gets a reprint soon, but this is also for versus, along with C101 Honor Arc just going crazy up and out here. The lowest copies towards $40. Versus already able to do it on its own without K9, and now K9's going to be coming. Man, this is just absolutely beyond my expectation for these cards. Songs of the Dominators is a card, though, that I expected to do well over time. I suggested it early, and I felt like, wow, another one I'm just wrong on, except here it comes just a bit later, and it's headed towards $30, with the lowest being around $27 here. And this also has a Starlight Rare that isn't moving all that much on the needle, only a couple of dollars here, up towards $68. And you can see most of the sales are 65 to 68, where it was 65. I personally, if I had the money and was deciding to get these for the current metagame, would go for the Starlight Rare at this point. It will fall out a lot less in a reprint cycle versus the secret rare that would come crashing back down if it were to actually have one. But again, Lion's Insight probably not reprinted for a good amount of time, but we'll have to wait and see. They have upped those reprints faster and faster at times. Dominus Impulse is down over time. WCQ's over, show's over, and all that good jazz, towards $60 at this point, and we would think it's up for its reprint cycle. And then Infinite Forbidden Dominus Purge is actually spiking, though, as it's what people want with songs, and it's towards $48, with one here at $42. Let's see where the sales are at. A lot at $48 to $50. I want to point out the 10s actually don't say yet what sets are inside. I'm hoping it's not like a Savage Strike or Power of the Elements situation where they get plucked out and put into another year later. Like, that would be absolutely disgusting. But we don't know any of the sets inside quite yet unless I'm missing something, so that's interesting. Also, a good point to bring up, this all-foil structure deck does come at a cost. The MSRP is up towards $20, about double what we used to pay for structure decks. However, I do think that with it having all foil, I think it is worth a premium. And this is one of the better things that Konami is doing, like a simultaneous release with the OCG as well. But like, yeah, it sucks to see a double price for a product, but all foil, come on. I do think that that's actually a smart product to create. Harpy's Feather Duster OTS Ulti. This is one I suggested a while back, and that might be the bump. Thanks, John Moore. And then it came back down, and now it's spiked up towards $25. I do think there's a lot of classic Ultimate rares that get their modern printing that get overlooked, because we do see that OTS is just performing poorly overall outside of the Blue Eyes White Dragon. So this one felt like it was underestimated, and here comes a big round of buyouts on it. Mist Worm is going up for every single copy. I think I covered this somewhat recently, but just be aware they look like they're up even further for what they are. And finally, Dupe Frog was part of that equation with the Chaos Sphere and all that. Never got a nice printing. Every single common of this has headed back up in price over time, and the super rare is on buyout mode just a bit, with the English copies at $35 lowest, and they sold out at $32.25. Yeah, this one, I don't get how they really missed it with all the nice rarity collections, but got left behind. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. I still love Yu-Gi-Oh! It is one of my driving passions, and it's something that I'll continue to be passionate about. I still play my Master Duel dailies to rack up my gems, but with Konami, my fuse is just absolutely burnt. It's not even short. It's not there at this point with the changes they're making. And I feel like those transparent conversations are extremely important to have, because I've seen a lot of you in the comment section talk about your frustrations and your breaking points with them. And sometimes it's get good and adapt. Sometimes it's fold and back off. And I'm folding and backing off for now. That's definitely how I feel. I'm still going to, again, collect OCG stuff. I have actually got a big mail day from Japan that's going to be coming next month. But it's like, with the TCG cards and how I just ordered the Silent Magician, I don't know that I order that Gaga Girl when it falls down to 20 now. I feel like I might be pretty darn done with any modern card at this point, unless it really calls to me.